The way that you look is directly correlated to the choices that you make. Welcome back to another Flex Friday, everybody. My name is Brandon Burns. I will be your host with the most on this episode of Flex Friday. Do me a favor, if you end up getting value out of this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with somebody else who will also get value from it. But let's get right into the topic of today's video, and it will be controversial, to be completely honest with you. It's going to be a controversial topic today, but it's one that I think is desperately needed. And that topic is this. We live in a world now where fat shaming it's such a negative, you can just get canceled right off the internet if you dare fat shame, if you dare say that somebody could and maybe even should be in better shape than they are. How dare you say that somebody should go to the gym and eat healthy? How dare you judge somebody else's choices? How dare you label somebody as not being disciplined or a hard worker because of the way that they look? Well, here's the reality. Your outward physique is simply a logical and natural manifestation of your inward choices. Point blank, period. It's just the way that it is. The way that you look is directly correlated to the choices that you make. And so if you don't look the way that you want to look, it's because you're making some choices that are not in alignment with what you say that you want. And I'm not saying that it is intrinsically evil necessarily. I don't think it's morally wrong to not make choices that are in alignment with being healthy, with being fit, but I would say that it's unbelievably selfish. And I will say that I believe it is disrespectful. Why in the world would it be disrespectful to eat sugary foods and not work out and just let yourself go? Why is that disrespectful? Who's that disrespectful to? Well, first and foremost, it's disrespectful to yourself, because every time that you make that decision that, I could work out today, but I'm gonna choose not to, you're telling yourself that you don't value yourself enough to go put in some work for you. It doesn't make sense to me how people can go work 40, 50, 60 hours a week for somebody else, and you won't work 4 or 5 hours a week for you. You won't invest 30 minutes a day at the gym for you. You won't invest in being the best version of you that you can be. You won't go read a book, you won't go to the gym, you won't go read. Like it doesn't make sense to me why you're just so willing to go and trade your life. Your time is your life, and you will give that to somebody for damn near free. You're not making, I don't care how much money you make, you're not making enough money for your life. People out here buying your life, and you don't want to go invest in yourself. People are buying your life, and you don't care enough about who you are to go develop yourself into who you were supposed to be, the version of you that God had in mind when He created you. That does not make sense to me. You are selling your potential, your God-given greatness for a couple dollars. That doesn't make sense. And so I don't understand why people would do that. And furthermore, I don't understand especially anybody that claims to be a believer. Like, your Creator gave you a vessel to inhabit while you have this experience of worldly life, and you don't respect that vessel enough. You don't respect that gift enough. There's people out here that have been in terrible accidents. They can't walk, they can't move, and you are out here with a fully functioning body, or even if it's not fully functioning, I don't know who all is watching this, but it's partially, but like, you got something. You got something that can move. You got something that you can take care of. You have something that you can prosper, and you just disrespect it. That doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. How disrespectful would it be? Like, imagine you're a father and you have a son, right? And you gave your son on his 16th birthday, you gave your son a car. And this is his first car ever. And let's say it's not anything incredible right now, right? Like, let's say it's a base model, I don't know, Acura or something. I was just talking to a friend the other day about their first car. He said it was an Acura, so that's what came to my mind. Let's say you got some kind of base model Acura, right? The father gave it to the son, and the son just trashes it. The son knows better. The son knows that he could put the premium gas in it, that he could change the oil when he's supposed to, that he could drive it carefully, that he could keep the interior clean, that he could make sure he doesn't bump into the curbs when he's parking. Like, he knows what he could be doing. He just simply chooses not to, because it's a little easier, it's a little more convenient to put the cheap gas in there, to not really be that careful, to not watch where you park it, to wait a little longer than you probably should for the oil change. It's easier, right? And then a couple years go by, car ends up trashed. got scratches all over it. The rims are scratched up, got curb marks all over the place, right? There's little cigarette holes in the upholstery on the inside. AC doesn't work, the fluid hadn't been changed in God knows how many years. It shakes when you hit the brakes a little bit, like everything. And it could have been avoided by respecting what you had, by respecting the vehicle that you had enough to make decisions that are in alignment with keeping it in good shape. What disrespect do you give your Creator when you don't respect the vessel that He gave you? When you don't make decisions that are in alignment with taking care of the blessing that He gave you? It's just something to think about. You know, and I think that we've gotten to this world where we're so afraid of offending anybody that we're afraid of calling people out. Like, people are afraid to say, hey, you know what? You should be in shape. You should look better than that. You probably should have a six-pack. You should have at least 18s on the arms. Like, you should have something. But we're afraid of that. We're afraid of that. You know what I really think it is? I don't think that we're afraid of looking people in the eye and telling them what they should do. I don't think that's it at all. Go take a stroll around the internet, you'll find out that that's not the case. I think people are afraid of looking themselves in the mirror and telling them what they should do. I think that all of this woke culture of not being able to offend anybody is a bunch of easily offended people who are well aware of their own insufficiencies, who don't want to be called out on it for themselves, and therefore they make it impossible for anybody to call it out on anybody else. Because hey, if the whole world is a safe space, maybe nobody will ever call me out on my insufficiencies. Maybe if the whole world is a safe space, then nobody will ever call me out on what I have yet to develop. Because I promise you, people who have developed their potential are terrifying to people like that. People who have truly developed their potential, people who have actualized all that God called them to be, those people terrify those who have not yet. They make it impossible for anybody to call it out on anybody else. Also, stare directly at the potential that you have yet to fulfill. You also look at everything that you have left undone. That's what you're really looking at. And that scares so many people that I think that they want to stifle others rather than lift themselves up. I think people are so terrified of looking in the mirror and saying, you know what? I have not done all that I should have done. These are the things that I have left undone, and these are the things that I have done that I should not have done. People are afraid of having that conversation with themselves, and people are afraid of changing. People are afraid of the potential that they possess. And so instead of doing something about it, instead of doing the inner work to actualize all of that, they go to everybody else who's setting a good example and saying, oh no, that's toxic masculinity right there. How dare you? You judgmental. Well, you know what? Actually, you're right. I am judgmental, and I have a right to be judgmental because I don't want certain people around me. Everybody has a right to be judgmental. Everybody has a right to say, you know what? If you don't look a certain way, I'm probably not going to hang out with you because I already know that you're not disciplined. I already know that you're not committed. Like, you can't even be a man of faith if you look like that. There's no way. There's no way. You can't walk around 400 pounds, call yourself a man of God. Stop. Don't act like it. People are going to get upset over that, but you know what? Good. Because somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. Start acting like you respect the vessel that you've been given. Start acting like you respect the blessings that you have. Start acting like you're grateful, and stop acting like some spoiled, privileged, rotten 16-year-old who got his first car and trashed the thing because he knew better, but he didn't do better. Don't be that individual. Be all that you can be. And physically, it's the most important thing, one of the most important things that you can develop in your entire life. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flex Friday. A little non-traditional, a little bit more spiritual focused almost. These videos are not scripted. I hope y'all know that. Like, I have one line that I go off of, which is the title and the topic, and we just turn the camera on and we see what happens. And today, this is what happened. So I hope that you enjoyed the twists that we took in this windy road that we went down. And I hope that you share this with somebody that needs a nice stiff kick in the booty to get themselves in gear, because I really believe in everything that was just said. And I hope that if you believe it too, that you would share this, that you would comment, you would like, you would subscribe. We can continue this conversation in the comments. And I sincerely hope that I will see you on the next episode of Flex Friday. Appreciate you watching. Peace.